right, guys, so here in the top right-hand corner of Xel'Naga Caverns, we have our red Terran player. Now, you remember, guys, this back in beta and things like that, Morrow used to be one of the best Terran players in the world, actually switched to Zerg, but he refuses to play ZVZ, so here he is spawning as Terran. His opponent in the bottom left-hand corner from Team Slayers in Korea, that is Sleep. It says Spin right there, but that is, in fact, Slayer's Sleep.
Yeah, these players have to play on their friends' accounts or Smurf accounts, because it has to be a North American account to play in our qualifiers, so these aren't their normal accounts. But rest assured, this is Slayer's Sleep, who actually, as it turns out, is only 18 years old.
And we want to make it known to people as well, because we sometimes get criticism. Oh, well, most teams have lots of accounts. Other places, apparently people criticize us are British, apparently, but nonetheless, they have accounts all across the world, and it doesn't matter where they play. Let them play on their own server. Oh, the thing is that games default to North American servers. So if you have people from two different servers playing, they're gonna play on North America. Now, as we're gonna see later in the set between QXC and Ace, when QXC was in Korea, yes, they played the games on the Korean server, so don't worry, that's just there in case we have cross-server problems.
Yeah, and there's a little teaser for you guys, QXC versus Ace on after this, so be sure to stay with us. We got some excellent games. Let's see what the players are up to so far. Actually, looks like not much out of the ordinary. Let's talk a little bit about Morrow. He does normally play Zerg, but he's going Terran here. As you said, he does not like to play ZVZ. He race picks Terran against only other Zerg players. So if he's playing another Terran or a Protoss, he will play Zerg, which is his primary race.
And it looks like Morrow is actually, I have to admit, Morrow is a Zerg player most of the time, and he's gotta hate seeing double 11 racks play and things like that. But okay, we have a couple of things to report here. First, Morrow decided not to go after double 11 racks, in fact not going after 12-14 racks. No, he's adding gas in the mix right away, so he's probably going to go to quick Hellions. His opponent, though, decided to go for that very early hatch. Sleep decided to hatch first on Xel'Naga, which is risky. So they actually had two unconventional plays, because I would have figured Morrow would have double racks, and I would have figured Sleep would have pooled first. But as it stands, we don't have any sort of rush play. Morrow would have been able to pull that off pretty successfully, but he's going to have a little bit harder time of it now, because Sleep should have pretty adequate Queen and Spinecrawler protection.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're going to see a reactor go down this barracks, and then switched over to the factory to get some reactored Hellions, and then he's going to expand shortly after that. This is very early days in this matchup. Morrow actually won one of the first major StarCraft 2 tournaments, IEM in Cologne, as a Terran player. I remember that tournament. It was one of the first I watched for StarCraft 2, and he impressed me.
Yeah, and he's always been a good player. He's always been a very popular player as well. He was the great Terran hope in Europe for a long time when they weren't finding success, and now Terrans have flooded the EU server. There are a million great European Terran players. Talked to Naniwa about that a little bit, and he says it's not so much that the European Terrans are doing anything different. It just so happens to be that there are just a lot of great natural Terran players in Europe at the moment. But you think of them, Straylock, Braddock, so on and so forth. Oh, yeah, no, they're just, the list doesn't end. They're amazing, amazing players. Here we go. We're going to see the tech switch just a second. Perfectly timed, as one would expect. And we actually already have a second factory coming up for Morrow. This is very interesting. He's not expanding behind this. He is going to go for Blue Flame very, very quickly, and looks like he's just going to make a very powerful, coordinated Hellion attack.
Nice, and also the 12 drone rush. Morrow is known for that. He pioneered that nice little maneuver against Terrans where you double extractor trick and you attack him with 12 drones when his barracks is about halfway done. It's a very, very fun build to use on ladder with short rush distance maps, but those are pretty much all taken out of the map pool, so I think it's actually... It's over for the 12 drone rush, as much as I love that build.
Yeah.
Morrow popularized on
I remember when Idra did that on Steps of War. It's a pretty popular video, and he's like, sorry, it was the map. I can't play the map. He just 12 drone rush in one. Remember, that was really popular on Reddit for a while. Big shout out to all our fans over at reddit.com/r/StarCraft as well. An amazing, amazing, amazing StarCraft community, and I have to say it's my go-to website. While I spend the majority of my time on Team Liquid, my front page and the first thing I check every morning is r/StarCraft. So
yeah, I definitely do a good amount of trolling of StarCraft, Reddit/r/StarCraft. What's going on here?
We have double reactored factories off of one base from Morrow, so he wants to outright end the game with Hellions really, really quickly. I don't know if Sleep's going to let that happen, but Sleep doesn't have an evolution chamber down yet. That's really, really interesting, and this Overlord, he is going to see everything. He sees the two reactored factories. Let's see how he reacts. Looks like a beaming nest coming up.
Yeah, this is very interesting from Morrow. The expansion, he should have thrown down his command center by now, instead opting for double factory reactored Hellions. I'm really surprised Morrow decides to go for Banelings and not Roaches in this situation. I guess the natural is so wide open that he decides he can hold this with pure Ling Baneling, but this is going to be really tough to hold here.
Oh, the first attack goes at the Spine Crawler. Looks like he wants to take that down right away. He does roast a good number of Lings there. Yeah, there's no real way that Sleep can attack into that quite yet. But man, he's going. I rather wish he had just run through, taken maybe one loss or something like that, roasted a few drones on the way, and just tried to pop his way into the main by taking out this queen. I think he wasted a couple of unnecessary Hellions there. One queen is going to fall, and it's possible that this Spine Crawler is going to go down as well. It does. And so he's going to have a little bit of free reign here on the right-hand side. Looks like Sleep is going to have to get these drones away, but still, Morrow has not done all that much economic damage quite yet, and the Banelings are already in play, and it looks like Sleep...
Going for the big surround here with the Zerglings. Is he going to get it?
Oh, no! Morrow backs his way into this corridor. John the Translator's Common Knowledge hallway back there. And looks like Sleep. What is he doing? He's not counterattacking.
He's retransferring drones to his expo. That's very, very confident. I'm not really sure. He's repositioning his Spine Crawlers. I think he's assuming that he's going to be able to hold this. I'm not really sure at this point.
Wow, yeah, so Morrow actually finds himself with a pretty big advantage at the moment, and he's expanding and putting up that orbital command at the same time. Here come the Hellions once again. They're not going to be able to attack into these three Spine Crawlers for the moment, though.
He might try a run by into the main. Oh, Roachhorn, well positioned there.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Force the Hellions to take a longer path up the ramp, take more damage from those Spine Crawlers.
And we do have 2 more racks being added for Morrow as well. Sleep, on the other hand, he's got a few Banelings back here. If he can get that key Baneling burst, it'll actually do quite a bit of damage. Looks like the next Spine Crawler is going to go down. A few Lings are running away in. The Baneling's going to make their way behind. Oh, but they don't in case they actually could have done it. They do! They move in. A lot of Hellions go down. Of course, these Banelings, as people on Reddit love to point out, actually criticizing a lot of casters, are not light. So they only take 6 damage at a time from these Hellions. I'm sorry, 8 damage at a time from these Hellions.
Oh, is that true? Okay.
Yeah.
A big group of Hellions. Oh, there's another nice Baneling hit. He traps all the Hellions between the Evo Chamber and his minerals. He's going to clean those up.
My God, all the Hellions went down. That is devastating. All of a sudden, Morrow was in a ridiculously good position before. Now he is, well, looks like he is almost even supply with his opponents, and he's doing pretty well economically, even though he's almost mined out his main already, but still... feel like he could have maintained a much higher advantage. There was great placement on this Roachhorn, but it feels like he could have just swung around at some point. Yes, he would have lost a couple of Hellions, but he wouldn't have lost the mass group he did to those Banelings before.
Yeah, that was a very, very nice defense from Slayer of Sleep. The Koreans always seem to know how to wait till the last possible minute to engage. And it was a beautiful trap right there with the Zerglings, catching those remaining Hellions between the Evo Chamber, hitting with the Banelings. But here we go, great macro from Morrow. He's already got another group of Hellions coming in, clearing out those creep tumors, denying the vision for Sleep.
Yeah, and you know, this is really, really interesting as well. What is Morrow going to produce in response to? He already sees Roaches on the field. Looks like it's Mass Marine. There we go. Double tanks are now starting to be produced, so he is going to make a pretty strong Marine tank army here in just a second. But God, I just wish he would have done more damage with these Hellions. Sleep actually did a really nice thing, though. We were commenting that he was transferring his drones really, really quickly back to his natural after the Hellions were on creep there for a little while. But that was actually the right decision. He actually got maximum saturation as a result of that. Off of his existing drones, because he ended up not losing any that second time he transferred those over. He's got
very nice play.
And he does have Spire up, researching +1 with 5, now 7 Mutalisks on the way. So he is going to be able to do quite a bit of harassment. The engineering bay is already in place, but there are no turrets up for Morrow.
Yeah, that's going to spell the end of this Hellion harassment when those Mutalisks pop out, and he's also going to go ahead and harass Morrow's base, but I think Morrow's going to be more than prepared for this with stimmed Marines.
Yeah, but, I mean, the stim Marines, especially with no medevac cover, I mean, Morrow, because he decided to invest so many resources into quad Hellion production so early, it's come at the cost of a lot of tech. He only now finished up stim. He doesn't have any medevac.
He has no turrets in his main, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
This can do it a lot. Oh, and he finds the tank taking a different path from the Marines there. Bad rally. The AI just decides they're going to split the tanks and the Marines. But Morrow's going to go ahead and push here into the third of Slayer's Sleep while sending back a small group of Marines to defend against the Mutalisks, which are going to do some serious damage in his main right now.
Yep, and this hatchery is probably going to have to be canceled, but the Mutalisks, like you said, are doing quite a bit of damage. They deny combat shields from coming up, which is actually pretty critical.
Very nice.
And that means that every time these units stim, that's permanent damage. Like, how many Marines here do we have stim? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was 100 hit points of damage just because of those Marines stimmed right there.
Yeah, and I don't believe he has a starport up yet. There it goes. He just went down. Yeah. See it on the production tab. I'm not sure where it is.
Looks like that's it in
there
the back
it is,
there.
right
there.
there.
We go. Yep. And let's see here. Sleep is actually going to make a pretty powerful attack. He is down in supply, but once again, he has the potential to pin these forces in place. Uh-oh, he's got to watch out for the siege. Tanks could lose a lot of banelings. He's just going to go for it, though.
I don't know about this attack.
Oh, God, he lost a lot of banelings right away. Morrow, once again, pulling a pretty good advantage. Unfortunately, the remaining 2 roaches crying back to their moms back here in the bases of Sleep. Sleep double expanding at the moment as well, going to the left-hand side and the bottom right-hand corner as he continues to do some Mutalisk harassment, but unfortunately walks into 2 missile turrets.
Yeah, we'll have to test out the star sense of Morrow here. We'll see if he scouts this far left expansion from Slayer.
And it doesn't look like he's seen it quite yet. Actually, take a look at his vision. No, he hasn't. So Morrow's up pretty considerably in supply at the moment. He's also about to start saturating his gold, so he's got to be feeling pretty confident, especially with this PF going up. Of course, that PF on the gold is pretty ridiculous. Then when you start culling down mules on top of these gold minerals, it's like hitting the jackpot. And Morrow going to make his way out with a few more units, but unfortunately his first medevacs are only coming up now. He actually doesn't have a medevac on the field. So once again, he has to be very, very stingy with his stims, because if he overuses that, then his Marines are going to be critically endangered.
Yeah, mules are so good, man.
They are. They really are.
And I noticed the Koreans like to throw down a mule at the end of games. Throw down all their mules.
Yeah. Bomber did that big time during GSL, but it was okay because he's Bomber. I feel he has the right to do it. He has earned that as being Bomber.
Absolutely. And at first I thought they were just really bad-mannered, like, ha ha ha, here's a mule in your face, I win.
Yeah.
But then I see them calling down mules after they've clearly lost a game. And right before GGing out. So I feel like it's just sort of
like a release.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like, spam, mule, 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 I'm done, it's done, whatever.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's take a look back at the game. We do have the space on the left-hand side pretty well saturated for Sleep, and that alone, I mean, I don't want to say it's going to win him the game, but if Morrow doesn't pick up on that for a pretty significant period of time, that is going to pay dividends in a big way. Looks like all the missile turrets have been cleaned up here at the main, and the tech labs are going to go down. So unfortunately, these tanks, once these are done, no more tanks are going to be constructed. And Morrow trying to put down those tech labs as quick as possible, losing them again. Sleep picking those off.
Were those cancels?
I don't think they were canceled. No, so that's 75 resources lost each time.
Very good decision from Sleep there to target the add-ons, buildings with low HP, guaranteed damage.
Let's actually take a look at the worker count. 70 workers up now for Sleep, 62 up from Mark, but he does have mules on the field. Oh my God, mules on the gold is so good.
Wow, let's look at his income. Yeah, only 2,500.
Well, it's dropping now because the mules were disappearing, but that was up ridiculously high a second ago. Morrow still does not have medevac cover. He only has 1 medevac. That is, or 2, it looks like total. Maybe one of them is out in a drop somewhere. I don't see any quite yet. But again, that's critical. I mean, I hate to keep coming back to that, but because he didn't invest in his medevac infrastructure early, any damage that's dealt to these Marines is permanent. He still doesn't have combat shield. It was canceled before because of the tech lab, and it only took him till now to start it. That is huge.
And we see Morrow starting his 4th command center there. He's probably going to float that to the back 3rd base. But with these Mutalisks around, he really can't leave or try a drop or anything like that. This is a very, very tough position here for the Terran. He's throwing down tons of missile turrets. He did spot the right expansion that just went down from Slayer's Sleep. But Sleep, seeing that Terran is on 3 bases while he's on 4, soon to be 5, is probably feeling pretty good right now with this situation, even though Morrow does have a ton of Marines and a Thor or 2 on the way.
+2 attacks is so good for air units. In Sleep, it's taking advantage of that, picking off supply depots with 1 shot there. And looks like he is, thinks better of it, thought about moving into the mineral line, but of course there are 4 missile turrets there with a bunch of SCVs set to repair if need be, so that is not going to happen. Here we go, Sleep finally taking up this. This is actually going to be his 5th base, finally taking the gold though. And this is actually kind of interesting because Morrow has put down so many mules on these rich mineral patches, he's actually going to be starved out of this game a lot quicker than Sleep will if Sleep decides to play the continue to deny economy game.
Right. It's a good point. Yeah, Terrans will definitely mine out faster with those mules, but it looks like they're both players are maxed right now, essentially, and this push right here looks like it's going to decide the game. Let's see how Slayer Sleep. How would you approach this if you had to deal? Oh, he's going to counter. Perfect.
Yes. Yeah. No. That's actually beautiful. These Speedlings are doing so much damage to the Thor. The Thor just killed nothing, and now the entire production of Morrow is going to be camped. So, oh god, the Banelings are rolling in, and even if the Banelings don't get a perfect burst, yes, Morrow can continue to deny bases. We still have this one up on the left-hand side that's continuing to do damage, and now the production facilities are getting camped. This is unbelievably good from Sleep. That is exactly what he needed to do, is he can play minimal defense for quite a while. It looks like he's going to sit back behind the power of these infestors here and try and get the perfect fungal growth. He gets one on the tanks, and the tanks are within range of the... Oh, God, wow. Never mind that. Banelings just kill everything. But I don't know why the tanks were in range of the spine crawlers there. That seems a little bit unnecessary. Looks like this hatchery is going to go down, but of course Sleep is camping production. He's denying economy, killing reinforcements.
He did take out the command center of Morrow with the natural, and now it looks like he's going for the PF. He's going for those 4 turrets.
Yeah, and he actually does manage to take out 2 of those very quickly. Third one goes down. Fourth going to fall as well, and that means all these workers have the potential to die very quickly. Marines are being sent in, but they're not enough. Yes, they are. Okay. Woo. I didn't see. This command center was sitting over about 20 of them right here, and I was like, that's only like 6 Marines. Why are so many mutas dying? Oh, that's because a bunch are hidden back there. But nonetheless, another base up for Sleep on the right-hand side. And again, I will actually say this is going to win him the game now. This has still not been spotted. Sleep has been able to do... just the amount of economy that these drones have brought him is... You cannot state it enough. And he finds himself up 45 supply.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant play from Sleep here, exploiting the weakest part of Terran mech, which is immobility, and just using all the maps. You're trying to workers killed, right?
Yeah, no, I actually meant to hit Control-Shift-F and accidentally hit Control-V, which brought up the APM tab. So if you guys are curious about their APM, there you go. Bam. Thankfully, though, Morrow did have another command center sitting there. So
it was meant to be his 3rd, actually, but now it's or his 4th, actually.
Back to his natural
Back to his natural, since that was taken out by the Mutalist counterattack. And now Morrow's forces are just pretty much stranded out here.
And the thing is that Morrow thinks he's done so well. I mean, I'm not saying that he believes he's up in this game, but he believes he's denying any further expansions. Oh, and he has actually seen this expansion over here on the left-hand side. Looks like he just spotted it, as there were still some remains of a unit there. And here we go. Oh no, Morrow is caught unsieged. The Mutalist's going to make their way in. Infestors putting down fungal growths on everything. A few units are sieged up at the back, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. No medevac cover. There's the GG.
That was a massacre there at the end.
Wow.
Catching those tanks, unsieged, moving back. Beautiful fungals, just flooding in with lings, banelings, and those infestors. That was beautiful.
That game was so good. Like, I honestly thought at the beginning that Morrow was going to be able to break through and kill Sleep right away with that Hellion. Like, let's not forget that this game started with quad Hellion production off of 1 base.
Right.
And he did a lot of damage with it. And I thought he would have had the potential to do more, but nonetheless, holy crap. Sleep takes game number 1.
Yeah, there was some questionable decisions with those Hellions at the start of the game.
Yes.
Like you said, I really feel like he should have probably tried to do a run by into the main, or at the very least, ran past the spine crawler at the natural to get behind the minerals and just try to roast some drones, because he really was just dancing back and forth, attacking spine crawlers and queens, which is great, but not if you're going to sacrifice your economy so heavily to attack with this many Hellions early in the game.
I agree with you 100%. So there we go. Sleep takes game number 1. We're going to move into game number 2 in just a second.